Welcome to Burning Metal Shooting the Breeze, episode 30. And this is my 30th one, the big milestone of 30. I was thinking, will I get a big band? And rather than that, I probably got one of the newest bands in the country in the moment for the big milestone. I brought on Asylum Road, who feature Darren, formerly of Hybris, who are one of Derry's most well-known bands from back in the day when there was a huge following, also at a time in Proxist. And I've got Dylan, who was also a member of the band Mourning of the Heretic. Thanks for coming on, lads.
Cheers for having us on, man.
Our pleasure, man. It's always good to see you.
It's always good to see a band with the word heretic in it. It's a word that's not used half enough, in my opinion.
I agree.
A lot of people don't agree too,
though. But you don't listen to them. If you had to listen to them, you know what I mean? Well, you can't show your face at mass every Sunday these days, you know. So you just have to roll the punches there, lad. Take your out.
Any excuse I can get to get out of mass.
We always use the excuse to get out of mass.
Mm-hmm. But I know, Darren, it's good to see you back at it again. It's been quite a few years now since you were in a band that's actually a functional band. For no disrespect to Proxis, you know, because Proxis.
Well, you're spot on. We've discussed this a million times. Like anytime we did play, it was great. But it was trying to get the time and trying to get the boys together and Steve, like as I said, no disrespect to Steve or anything, but like Steve was a genius at writing stuff, and then it was trying to find time to play. And sure, that time we played in Dublin as well. We did the back-to-back gigs, and like we had a great time. Do you know what I mean? Me, you, and we all sat and we had a couple of drinks after, and like it was great. But no, this one is Asylum Road is. We're aiming for a proper touring, gigging machine, like, and this is, you know, because I think a lot of us over even lockdown, which we've spoke about before, and the complete obliteration of the live scene coming back, you just want to play. Do you know what I mean?
Kind of where this band started over. It was over lockdown, and just we did a lot of writing then. A lot of songs that'll never come out. It was a lot of fucking about, but
there was a lot of fuckery and a lot of. But there were some great ideas that came out of it, and it was again over lockdown, and we were like, "Yeah, this sounds good. Let's go." And
90% of writing we did was I was still living with my mom and dad, sitting in a wee shed at the bottom of the garden, just me and you getting drunk 9 nights a week.
Shout out to Kevin Maggs as well. His mom and dad for just fucking putting up with the noise, and
the neighbours for putting up with the noise.
And the neighbours too. But that's what it was born out of. Like it was born out of lockdown. It was like, man, there's no real local bands just fucking slaying it these days in Derry. Do you know what I mean? And it was.
The metal scene in Derry died. Once the Bound for Balsam went, the metal scene went.
It was brutal. Like once the Bound for went, and then Masons went the brickwork. But the brickwork, in fairness, like it does like cater to a lot of different musicians, like singer-songwriter and
Mark from Moth.
As well. Shout out to Mark.
He does Ecoplex, Moth from Moth up there. It's moved to the 720 now, though, from Derry, so shout out to that too.
And Mr. Anderson himself as well, Mark's fucking right-hand man.
It's like Derry's equivalent to Melbourne and Belfast.
Essentially, it's just like a big, massive DJ night of just pick your poison, like, but it's
rock and metal music.
Because it originally started as like an industrial night. I remember the very first Ecoplex had it was great, but it's good to see now that more interest is building again in Derry.
Like I know you're not a member on the lineup, but there's a festival announced as well, like for this summer in Derry, a 2-day one. Like so, that's encouraging. Like that's the first time I can remember a metal gig in Derry in a very, very long time.
It's great to see, and I hope people actually like pull a finger out and turn up there, because if people show up, it's going to encourage more shit like that to pop up in Derry.
Oh, in fairness, no, there was a festival last summer.
It was way overpriced though, and that's why people didn't show up.
The price as well, like because obviously
that was crazy, man. Wasn't that £100 a ticket or something?
For 2 days. But like I ended up going. Connor Summers, who played bass with us in Proxis, like Connor lent a few pieces of his drum kit, because Jarvis Leatherby from Night Demon, you know Night Demon.
Mm-hmm.
He so they were kind of like running. He was running the whole thing, and a friend of mine, Big Eamon Ward, who's like a metal stalwart throughout Ireland. Like you can't miss him. He's about 9 foot tall, and fucking like literally everybody like at a gig, you're just like, God, they fucking Do you know what I mean? But like he was like,
wants to be that man.
I know, but he had asked and said, and I go, right, okay, and then I ended up, Jarvis had said, look, come up and see what you think. It was a great gig. Like the festival was great, but I think again, price wise, dairy people coming, we're all in a recession, north, south, everywhere.
It's not even that. You went from no metal scene in Derry to like, oh, we're bringing a metal gig back. Here's 100 quid a ticket. Everyone's going.
It was what the fuck? You know about 100 quid a ticket? I was all.
Nobody's going. I'm not paying 100 quid to go to like local bands.
Recession
central.
No, I know, but that's what I mean. Sure, I still remember fucking playing in Missons upstairs, and you're like, there's 20 bands on, and it's a $5 and they're like, but a $5 will get me a drink, and you're like, oh, fuck off, just The
only way to get people on the door in Derry is to go free shots at the door.
Free shots at the doors.
That's it.
That's what I used to get people in for. Like, remember, I ran the Dime Night every year, and that's all you did. I was all, look, it's a $5 right? It's 3 point on. If you wear a Pantera t-shirt, a Damage Plan t-shirt, a Dime t-shirt, or a cowboy hat, it's 3 quid on, and you get a free Blacktooth grin at the door.
Are we doing Dime Night this year?
We are doing Dime Night this year, by the way. But that was the thing. So you had people showing up in full fucking regalia. You had cowboy hats, you had Pantera t-shirts, you had some fucking dude rocked up with a fucking Confederate flag cape, and I thought, right, whoa, just fucking.
Somebody knows it's not the bar for that.
No, I said, whoa, behave yourself, man. I was like, Jesus.
That's dangerous territory.
I said, we're not here to fucking, burn crosses at dawn. I was like, you fucking just take that off you and I'll give you a fucking shot.
People get cancelled for this.
Do you know what I mean? And I was like, but that's what I mean. It's incentive and pricing, and like, as much as I love Derry, we can be some of the stingiest people as well, because we want like, $5, 20 bands, and all night drinks promotions. I would rather hold on to my $5, big man, and go downstairs and just like,
free shot at the door.
Free shot at the door. Fuck it, there's my $5. You know what I mean? And you're like, it's insane, man.
Was that festival last year well attended in the end, or was it a small crowd?
The day I went on, it was half.
Yeah, that was the day with a bigger band though. You went.
That was the day. The first night I was there. The first night, but like I heard
part of the first night, like the Nerve Centre holds 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
Like they max out at like 150.
But people were going on and out of the bar, and like if you're trying to play and you just see people leaving, they go to the bar, drink, and then be like, oh, just stay at the bar because you can still hear the band. It's kind of disheartening whenever you're up there.
It's not down to the people running the gig though. It's the Nerve Centre.
No, it's definitely not.
The Nerve Centre and the price they charge for a gig. The last gig I seen the Nerve was a Metallica cover band. They were supposed to play the bigger room.
I've said it a million times, like the price that they charge you for the whole venue.
They put on a gig in the Nerve Centre now is about £1,500. That's what it cost the band just to put it on before you even show up.
£100?
1,500.
Oh, 1,500. Oh, Jesus, that's an expensive one. And you have to get the insurance as well, too, probably as well.
Like this, man. Well, that's all included and stuff.
No, that's before insurance.
Was that before the insurance? It's changed since my day then.
They supply their own sound guy, or not like their own sound guy. You have to have security, and you have to use their security. They rub the balls at it. It's the Nerve Centre's gone to shit.
Jesus, the sounds of it, so the people that put on that event didn't do too well. So if they didn't get the numbers, because that's a lot of money just to even before you even open the door, like.
And that's before you pay your
bands are in it too, like.
You can get why they were charging £100 a ticket.
That obviously explains it. So with the running cost, promotional cost, paying the bands, and all the rest of it, like that's going to cost.
But what's annoying about the Nerve Centre is the fact the Nerve Centre is government funded, so they've no reason to charge that fucking money.
That's the other thing as well. It's like government funded, like and it was always the stalwart place. I mean, Sepultura played on there, the Haunted have played on there, Trivium have played on there. There's some huge bands like before he was even big. Like if you're going into the whole, and they sing Damien Rice, like a lot of good Irish artists have played on there.
Even back to old bands like Pierce of Veil, stuff like that.
Pierce of Veil played there, like
Alexandria.
Like really big bands, man. And the fact then that it's great getting these bands on, but then whenever like it's local like Derry bands, they're like, 1,500, blah blah blah, and you're like, how the fuck are we supposed to get that on? And
not a hope.
It's ridiculous, man.
I was saying that Metallica cover band, they paid the $1,500 to use the big stage. and because they didn't get the numbers, the nerve center downgraded them to the ballroom.
They went on the ballroom, which was ridiculous.
Which
I
means they
remember
played
hearing
that
about that.
1,500 to play not even on a stage on the floor of the bar.
It was scandalous, man. It was absolute scandal, and people that went on were all, "What the fuck's going on here?"
I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but I'm nearly sure they took a couple of the merch that you sell as well.
Most fucking
yeah, but on top of £1,500,
cutthroat, shitty places take a cut of your merch these days, like which is killing bands. I mean, you look at bands like as much as I don't like them because I can't stand Rob Flynn, but Machine Head couldn't get a visa to come to Europe anymore because of the prices.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And they're paying visas, they're coming over like a work visa, and they're like, it's not worth it because of all these sort of concert halls taking so much of a cut. It's like 25% or some shit.
It's worse than that in some places. We're kind of going off track here. We're kind of going off track here now, but there was a recent tour, and there were the bands in Italy. I can't remember the name of the bands now. They were paying 45% between the tax and the merch cut. So they were like, but they stopped selling their merch at the gigs, because they're like, we're losing 50% more or less as soon as we put them on sale. Like
Palafia in Belfast just before lockdown hit, the month before lockdown hit, and they said they had to put their price of their t-shirts way up. It was £40 sterling a t-shirt, because they said they'd increase that much just to break even with what the venue was charging. Like that's nuts.
That's brilliant stuff. He went to see Gojira in Belfast recently.
£40 a t-shirt, yeah.
But he bought the t-shirt for 40 quid, and then the hoodie as well. He had at our last practice, 70 quid for a hoodie. I thought, it's Gojira, man. It's not fucking Kiss. Do you know what I mean? You'd expect that kind of shit from like Kiss.
That just goes to show where it is now with touring bands, where they have to charge that just to kind of get. But sure, the amount of American bands that have cancelled, even likes of Bloodstock and Vakin and everything, they're pulling out of them all because it's not worth their while.
So you shared the post there. Who was it that cancelled the recent?
There's 2 festivals in the UK cancelled in 2 days last week. This week, Dominion on whatever day it was. Dominion went first, and then 2 days later, Manorfest was cancelled.
Manorfest, that's what I was.
I don't know. Manorfest was cancelled. I've seen the Dominion went, but I didn't see Manorfest.
Manorfest is gone, man. They had Overkill and a whole load of bands on it, and they sold 10% of their tickets.
Jesus.
I was shocked whenever you shared that. I was so shocked, and I was like, people were crying out over lockdown. Like, there were so many musicians doing like live streams and all this here, people playing in the middle of like streets, and everybody's all entertainment's keeping us going. And then the minute everything opens up again, they're like, fuck that, I'm just going to rip these musicians off.
No, well, you can't blame people either, because as soon as things open up again, prices went fucking through.
No, I'm not on about like the people that have listened, but I'm on about like the venues have been all, the venues that lost out, and you're like, right, okay, but you are making it back and drink and entrance fees. Why the fuck are you ripping off bands that have suffered the most?
Because they're looking at it going like, we can.
But that's that guy. Do you know what I mean? It disgusts me.
Well, we're all paying for those 2 years now, aren't we?
We are.
But anyways, we've gone completely off track here now, and we're here to talk about Asylum Road.
All right.
So you've released, up to now, you've released 3 songs. You've kind of, I wouldn't go as far as to say wouldn't say as far as disowned the first 2, but you've kind of moved on in another direction. Would that be right in saying, yeah?
So far, everything we released, we're kind of calling those demos. It was for the sake of getting music out. And the first song, Circle the Drain, was with a different vocalist that is being reworked now with different lyrics, different song structure. Same kind of riffs, but you'll hear it at the gig anyway, and if it comes out it. But yeah, we kind of disowned those 2. The most recent 2, or the 2 we're most proud of, I'd say, would be Changing of the Tide. And the most recent one, Hyperfixated.
Aye.
Definitely, I think going forward, the kind of style we're looking at is closer to like our most recent release, Hyperfixated, that sort of.
Definitely, aye.
Just kind of had an awful big problem with the EP as well too. You lost it in a computer crash, didn't you?
We did. We kind of had most of it sitting there, and it was ready to go. That was almost a year ago, and then everything just.
He rang me and he goes, "You're going to fucking hate me." And I go, what did you do now? And he goes, that was me. But my computer crashed. And do you remember all them vocals and all the nights we spent, blah, 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 blah? I was like, yes. And he goes, they're fucking gone. And I went, no, man.
I don't know what had happened. So we have a backup hard drive too. So it's like everything should be sweet on the hard drive. Everything gone. The hard drive as well. Just everything gone.
Shite, like just pure fish.
The maddest story I ever heard with that happening to before was Brendan of Black Shuck negative result. He had all on the computer there ready to go on the EP. He had it all sorted out, and the cat jumped over and landed on the laptop and fucking killed the entire thing, however it happened. Well, your story now wasn't obviously as fucking mad or dramatic as that, but you still lost the whole lot, like.
Like, I'm a big animal lover, but I would have fucking hurled that cat clean out the window.
Well, as much as the songs were okay, then we're going to release. I think what we're writing now is a lot better.
In fairness, though, like you did turn, and like we were kind of positive about, we were bummed, but then we turned, we were like, don't know what, we can do better.
We can,
and that's what we were looking at. We were like, and we have, and we were like, we can do better. And then we went back at it. You fucking within a day, like this. I'm going to blow smoke up this man's ass here for a minute. But like, he turned to me and I'd said it. I think it was like a Wednesday or a fucking Thursday or whatever. Do you see by Sunday he had everything done again? And I was like, what the fuck, man? It's like it was like Lemmy on amphetamines. You know what I mean? He just must. I said, what the fuck did you do? He just goes, I sat with a crate of beer, man, and I just wrote everything back out again. I was like, holy shit! And that's before we had the full lineup. Do you know what I mean? And I was blown away. Like, I mean, the fucking man comes out here roughs and he's
that stage it was me, you, and Aaron just left the band there about 2 weeks ago.
Aye.
He has other things in all his life, so Aaron had to leave. There's no animosity there.
Nah.
Aaron just had to go. But
he's a good dude as well. Like, you know,
we're down to one guitar player band, which I think has changed the writing a wide lot for the music.
Big time.
It's where Hyperfixated came out of. There's no leads in that song at all. It's just roughage.
Because you were writing, like, the solos he was writing was fucking top tier, but like once Aaron had, you know, he was, as I said, he left and he stepped aside and he was like, look boys, we were like grand, but it was more simplified then. It was more kind of, you know,
it's more focused on the groove and the riff rather than being like overcomplicating everything. It was just,
and it sounds better. Like that's where
that's a lot more fun.
It's more fun, more freedom in terms of, like, you know, we were worrying too much about like structure and shit like that, and then the next thing was it was just rough, and I was like, that'll do.
I think for a long time, me, I was like, oh, I've got so many years on the guitar, need to show how fast I can play and all this. And I'm going like, but I know I can play fast, so just fuck that now, just write what's good.
Funny enough, because we were jamming with Brian earlier, and Brian landed up in 2 hours.
We have a song written.
I landed on them, and they were right, and the slap bang in the middle of writing this song, which is going to be another banger, and well, in my humble opinion. But I just walked on, and it just goes, rough. Let's just fucking focus on the rough, and I was like, that'll do me.
I think you were lying on the floor because your knees fucked.
I was lying on the floor with my knee up in the air.
Fuck up a minute, recording a solo, and you're like, have you written it? And I was all, I'm about to, sorry, don't worry about it.
I had about 3-4 takes, and then I was all, that's the boy. That'll do me.
I suppose it's the fact that you've got the bass player formerly of Hybris as well. You know, you've got a dynamic straight away because you know each other for years. And
oh, Brian, that's what I mean. Like, me and Brian worked with each other for years. We toured together, and I originally had said to him because they moved to New Zealand, and then he came back. You know, he has his family now as well, and Sylvia is from New Zealand, so they went out there, loved, and blah blah blah. Brian came back then, the whole family came back, and I said to him, I was like, you fancy, you know,
give him another go.
And he said, well, sure, I'll look at the live kind of thing aspect of it. And
you
then
don't want to be a full-time member of the band. You worked out like as a session musician. Yeah.
There was a night where I was meant to land up, but Brian ended up landing up, and I didn't land up.
It was an Ecoplex with Moth. Or Mark from Moth. Sorry, was wrong.
But remember, but no, it was the first jam we were supposed to have together.
No, the first time we met Brian wasn't at that first jam.
No, but I mean, like, whenever you two got together, I was meant to land up,
yes,
but I didn't.
Yes.
But the minute I got on, and I sat with Dylan, and you know, sitting in the room, and he just sort of sat down, and like his amp and everything was there, and came on, and I didn't show up, and I thought, do what I want. I'm used to playing with Brian. I thought, I'll let these boys see how they get on. And then the next thing was, I got a message from him saying, fucking, we had a great time, man. We had fucking, and I just turned, I go, I knew Brian inside out, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that's me and his dynamic.
I'm so weird of members because of drama way past members. That's
So-
what's taking a band song. It's 4 years as band's going. It took us 2 years to get a single out just because of drama. And
it's always
the
fun.
second Brian landed on, he was just he's one of the nicest fellas you can meet. Like,
One of the nicest fellas, but
one of the
man,
best
like,
musicians I've ever met.
he's a great musician as well. Like, I mean, Brian's, I think he's like great.
And as a guitar player, it's not too often I say that about a bass player.
Great, I know, grade 7, I think he's grade 7 or 8 on piano as well. So he's a great musician, and I thought, right, fucking brilliant. I thought, I'll bring him on. We'll see how he gets on live. Like, but I kind of bit him again, the old bug. And, do I tell you, I want to write, I want to do this. I was like, fucking yes, it worked.
Today was my first proper writing session with Brian. I'm within half an hour. He just kind of showed me a rough. It's the first time I had a bass player showed me a rough, and I was like, I will use that. And that just formed in this song within like.
And then I came on then, and the next thing.
You came on as I was just writing a breakdown. I was like, oh, we've another song done, so do song.
So I came on, I was like, what the fuck's that there? So I'll play that again. And then the next thing came on, they were both at it, and I was like, yes! So it was, it's just one of those things where like there was so much misfortune that happened. And then all of a sudden, everything started fitting between like having Shaggy joining and then Brian going.
Shaggy was the one I was most nervous about joining the band. Because I was like, I really don't know him, and the drummer's kind of carrying the rhythm. It's going to be awkward. And we let him do practice, and Shaggy's first words was, "What's happening, cunt?" And I just went, "I like him."
Straight away, like, and he was, as I said, he was drummer in Furlough, and Furlough's kind of like an indie rock band. They're huge across Derry, huge across fucking the whole.
They played that whole Crana festival and all that.
They played like loads of festivals and
like
stuff.
Glasgow
and stuff like that there, and he's like, they're really well known. And the next thing was then, so whenever he agreed, after the time I met him at the wrestling event, he came on and he liked the tunes, and he just came on, and it was, what about, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this, the other, and he just fucking crushed it.
I did definitely. You can tell where our first couple songs, the drums are obviously programmed. That's quite clear. Shaggy came on, and that's why we're reworking everything now. The full lineup, everything is out now. We're seeing as a demo. The full EP is going to be recorded at a different standard. We're going to go in the studio for it, rather than recording in the room that you're seeing us sitting in.
Which you and Adrian have touched upon that before. These are on about that, program drums and stuff like that there, and it sounds grand. But we want to be we want to hit the heights.
But the reason they were programmed at the time is we didn't have the lineup to put out.
Exactly.
We didn't have the lineup to put out music in the studio. I was like, look, I have the capabilities here. I can record a guitar and program drums. I just want to get sound out and put the feeders out. So how it was going.
We were working with what we had.
Yeah.
And like, as I said, you boys had mentioned it, but you still heard the music, and you were still like, that's a fucking good tune. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, we could. Production doesn't bother me as much as some people though, because some people are very fucking, what's the word, elitist about it. If the song is good, the song is good.
That's what I'm loving. The difference in the two bands that I'm in is, like, I said, a room like needs to be good production. I'm not a producer, I'm a guitar player. I've been producing everything, trying to produce everything.
And you're doing a fucking outstanding job, man.
With Moth, it's a wee bit handier because it's black metal. The worse it sounds, the better. So it's kind of handy. That's kind of, well, not now. We're pushing for good production.
But
I think now I'm taking every week course I can online and learn how to produce a bit better. Shaggy is a producer as well, or drummer. He worked again, it's a pop artist, but Jordan O'Keefe,
he's
kind of works in the studio, so Shaggy's kind of been helping with production too. That's why the instrumental production is a lot better on the most recent single than it has been on the rest. So,
but we've all been sort of coming on and throwing on our, you know what I mean? It was all, why don't you put this in or double that up, or it's a lot more, instead of just me and Dylan, you know what I mean? There's more dynamic, and there's more of, like, Shaggy saying this and Brian saying that.
Couple of songs kind of started as like, I wrote the instrumental, went down, there's that, record vocals, that's it, done. Now it's very much a collaborative effort, and everybody has an input and going, I don't like this, I don't like that, that's class.
Let's focus on this.
It feels like a band now, rather than me writing a backing track and you singing. That's kind of
which is like a lot different from Proxus, because it was just me and Steve. And Steve wrote everything, including even whenever Andy McDay joined on drums, it was like Steve was like, play the fucking drums the way I wrote them, because Steve as a drummer, Steve drummed in 12 gauge and a few other bands. Do you know what I mean? He as a drummer by trade, but Steve wanted something differently practiced, and he wanted to play guitar and do vocals and stuff like that there as well. And I said, no bother. But he's very particular about it. Whereas now, whenever you write, say, something, the drums, you know, like for scratch tracks and stuff.
Yeah, when I'm writing drums here, they are just scratch tracks. Like if I send Shaggy the drums, I go, yeah, just I'll take the drums out of the track when I send the Shaggy and go do your own thing. I just record to the drums because it's easier to write a groove to a drum track rather than just. You cannot write a groove to a click. It's a fucking nightmare. It's just impossible.
But like, it worked out well, as I said, because each of us, we're not, you know, we don't have like egos and be oh, what the fuck do you mean? You know, you can't say that to me, you know, you don't know drums, or you don't know bass, or you don't know vocals, or this, that, and the other. Whereas we're like, change that. Why don't you put that up? Why don't you hit this? Do harmonies here? You know, maybe add on an extra kick or whatever. And it works. Like we all take it on board.
Too, though, I think the band works so well because, like, outside of just music, it's not the only reason we meet up. It's like you're at my wedding, for fuck's sake.
Nice. Ice cream man.
Yeah.
Ice cream man, ice cream man, ding 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 ding. Every time I hear him, I just
every time I'm doing this podcast, man, that fucking ice cream van arrives. It's
Love
fucking 5 to 9 on Saturday. What kids are going to be out looking for ice cream now? He's obviously
it's adults that are half caught going, oh, you know what?
Fuck, I love an ice cream. Go give me 5 screwballs, big man.
Not fucking ice cream he's selling at this stage, I don't think.
But man,
now we'd be in trouble, so he would.
Oh Jesus, I know how you normally get that as well. But summer's coming. Let the man hustle.
Well, he'd be around in winter.
It'll be around winter as well, like at 5 o'clock and all, everybody outside and fucking snow and rain and be all, oh, guess fuck his 2 scoops.
See, to be fair, but most men have an angry wife that goes, I want ice cream. And as soon as you hear that, you're going to go, and there it is.
Staying out of it.
So he has done the stairs.
Fucking staying out of the wife a bit. I am fucking avoiding that like the plague.
I have to be nice to my wife because she's going to watch this.
And beat the
so
shit
in
out.
Regards to playing live, you're going to be playing live, obviously, because you're playing my farewell gig on the 20th of May in February McGee's downstairs. Bunch of bands. I'll see, can I bring it up here? It's there. Burning Metal. Farewell Show. You've got Eternal Hell Corrects. Two Tales of Woe.
What a band.
Yourselves, Asylum Road. Ren Marabou and the Berserkers. Celtic Legacy, who I'll have to check on because we'll have to pull out of the Metal to Masses today for a health issue. So I'll have to make sure everything is all right there, hopefully. But for now, they're fine. Four Not and Aborted Earth. So we've got 8 bands, and the doors are at 6 o'clock. So we've got a full night ahead of us.
Oh, happy days. Oh, we're looking forward to that.
I think you had met up with Two Tales of Woe at the Crowbar gig.
Two Tales of Woe, I met up, went down because obviously I was going to Crowbar, you know, but I knew two Tales of Woe were playing, and I'd have been in contact with Carl.
Carl, yeah.
And I'd seen he was mutual friends with yourself and Adrian. So I added him on Facebook and I just messaged him and I was saying, here, look, man, go down to the Crowbar gig and looking forward to seeing these. And I was like, we're also on the bill for the 20th. And sent him a few of our tunes and stuff like that there. Went down, and Carl is one of the fucking nicest men you could meet. Like, and I'd said to him, I was like, go on, keep me aside an album and a t-shirt. And he did. No bother to me. So as I was going up the stand, the merch stand, and I said, Carl, I think it was his missus and his daughter had left it aside. No bother. Like, you know, it put the time and energy in just to make sure, here, put that aside for Darren McCartney, you know, he'll be down and all. And then, man, what a fucking band. Hey, they're
brilliant.
Unbelievable.
Aborted Earth, too. I've been chatting to them, boys. They commented a couple of other things.
And they messaged the band.
The lads sound as
fucking like, so we're really looking forward, because for us, it's about getting back in and meeting all these other bands and connecting.
We're kind of the new kids on the block, so it's kind of nice to meet.
Like making friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's because a lot of the shit back in the day was kind of like, oh, we're competing. It's like, the older I got, then I was like, no, man, I'm here to fucking make friends. I'm here to support as many Irish metal bands as possible. Do you know what I mean?
Ren Marabou and the Berserkers would probably be one of your best bets to get chatting to.
Who is it?
Ren Marabou and the Berserkers.
Yeah, I've been
They're based in Donegal, like,
Aye.
and they're tied in with by default because Cass is also a member of what's the name of the band? The Kessler Effect.
Oh, Kessler.
They're the Disturbance boys.
Aye.
On the gigs in Letterkenny. So if you got in with them, if they're putting on something in Letterkenny, you know, there could be an opportunity for you to play out there. Like
half hour down the road for us boys, like in
Derry. Well, it would be, yeah, and it'd be next door to you, and that's their first Dublin-based gig as well, Ren Marabou and the Berserkers. So.
Oh Jesus! Like there's no doubt then that when we were down there and sharing a few beers after our set, we'll get something organised. But
I've been listening away to all the bands that we're playing with, but I think my favourite there would be Aboard of the Earth because you know me, I'm more death metal.
You're more death metal, in fairness. Like I'm more the southern NOLA sludge. Hence why I fucking love Tales of Woe. But like every band on there, man, like are just fucking outstanding. Do you know what I mean? And we're just really excited to get down. And you know, I played by hundreds of bands, but this is more exciting now because of the stage I'm at in my life and just meeting just good fucking bands, having a good time. And
that's the first band that's just felt natural to me as well. It's fun, like
that's what I mean. We're having fun instead of just going, you know, like we obviously talk about the business end of things.
It's got a lot of work going on, but it's fun. Like
it's good. There's no bullshit.
It doesn't feel like a chore.
It doesn't feel like a chore. Every time you're just kind of like fucking yes, and you hear something new, and you're like, this is amazing. And the response we've got, like even you know, we're the new guys and all, and we have the likes of Aboard of Earth and all those boys messaging us and being all, you know, fucking can't wait, man, and it's just great.
Even this in the last week, I have to give them a shout out to. I just got endorsementship there from Skull Strings this week. Now with my last single coming out, so I got my first wee string endorsement. That's fucking class, dude. The response we're getting is amazing. The support we're getting.
So we have to thank everybody like that's been liking and sharing, and you know, like yourself, Adrian, even Cheryl and Becky McAvoy, just and our family and friends. You know, like Cheryl and Becky just came down and like all the photos that you've seen.
Thanks to Cheryl. All the photos.
You know, they've been taking all the photos of us and everything that you've seen in the promo video and stuff like that there, and everything that we've been sort of frying people's heads with over Instagram and the stories and everything, and like.
And a wee shout out to Cheryl because I think she will eat us if we don't say. She put out a wee single today as well.
She did. She was on the radio today as well, and like Cheryl, she's one of the greatest singer-songwriters in Derry. I think, in my opinion, I'm not just saying that because she's my mate, but like.
But it doesn't sound like generic singer-songwriter.
She has her own thing.
It's not Wonderwall reworked.
And she comes from a massive family of musicians as well. It was like. You know what I mean? The McAvoys are huge in terms of like the Irish country kind of music, but it's mad like how everybody is starting to support each other again. I think I know we keep going back to COVID.
It kind of took a year for everybody started like kind of come back to it again. That was.
And the funny thing is again, like I know we brought it up earlier on. You brought it up. You were saying about Dylan being in Asylum Road and Moth Morning of the Heretic. It was like originally me and Mark, we couldn't stand each other. Like we fucking despised each other. But like I think that was at the time, as I said, it was Proxist and it was,
now Mark's doing your tattoos.
And now Mark's doing, you know what I mean? But it was like it was competition, better than them. And you were trying to like be the best you could, but it was the wrong attitude.
But we have joked a few times that Born the Heretic and Asylum Road could never get together because I would have to find the time to either put corpse paint on or take it off. It was like a wee set between sets. I would need a magician to go like outfit change, take the corpse paint off.
I wouldn't even do corpse paint, man. Like if you were doing it and you had the corpse paint on, I would just pull on like my fucking ghost Papa Emeritus mask and just do a full Asylum Road thing and a mask.
We're getting very sidetracked here, those.
I know we are, but like I just wanted to say that as well. It's just kind of weird that. My attitude over like I want to beat these bands, but
10 years ago it was two rival bands in there. Now we're kind of
because the scene has shrunk so much, but there wasn't that amount of support.
The scene has shrunk to those two bands.
And you've copped on as well too. You've realised that it's a small town. There's no point in fighting with other bands because if you work together, you can do something like.
Exactly. That's exactly that. So big up
even if you got a venue and even if there's two bands in the town and you got a venue. you've got 2 local drawing bands, and then you can bring another couple of bands, and you've got a good night.
So Mark also runs a metal night once a month called Ecoplex, and he's looking to start promotions now, putting bands on. That's where you can start putting bands on in Derry.
Yep.
And
That's small, like
one night, but you need to start somewhere.
That's up, man, and that's just support local. As you've always been very vocal on, you've always championed support local, support Irish metal, north and south. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter because the whole fucking genre needs it.
Yeah, cheers to you again as well for all support for every single we put out. You've supported the band the whole way.
Oh, no bother, and bit of a spoiler as such, but you will be on the compilation that's dropping in a few days.
Yeah!
Appreciate that.
Along with another 36 tracks as of now.
I don't know how you do it, man. Hey, you just fucking, you pull all these banger bands out of fucking...
Wait till you hear this one, man.
Like, I listen to them all, as you know.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to this one.
No, this one, man, I have found tracks from bands that you'd be doing well to have heard of, and they're fucking bangers, like. And I've got some heavy hitters on this one too, because the last one done so well that people are more receptive to it now.
It's how easy it is to record at home now. Is like so many great bands go must because there is so much like shit coming out constantly, and it just gets lost. It's so easy to put out music now that the good stuff just gets kind of lost in the wave of shit. It's
so hard on social media now because it's full. On Facebook, you don't get your full reach. Instagram, you don't get your full reach. So, and even if you do get a bit of a following on it, it just gets lost.
Like people's like broad of interest is like 10 seconds because they're watching a TikTok video. If you cannot squeeze it only 10 seconds, then nobody
gives a shit or a reel. You know what I mean? Like, you know yourself, we started sharing reels of stuff, and people are like, "Oh, right, that's grand." But like, if you had a full hangway or a reel, they'd be like, "Nah, tension's gone." You know what I mean? Which is unfortunate, but that's just
the way it's gone.
Humanity is at the moment.
Even look at likes of bands like even Sleep Token, take them for example, they're massive at the moment. See if people knew what those guys look like. People base bands on their looks. If they knew what those guys looked like underneath the masks, they would not give a fuck. Like everybody goes, I fancy that band. I care about that band. Oh, I see what they look like. I don't care anymore. Never mind. That's just, it's all about like what looks appealing in a video. Or like that wee 10-second short.
Next question before he starts going on our rant about fucking how much he loves Sleep Token.
I don't love them anymore.
Shut the fuck up.
Their new stuff
is flat out play Sleep Token to me all the fucking time.
Play their old stuff.
You play any kind of idea on when the EP will drop, so.
What are we aiming for?
We're aiming for end of July.
End of July is the aim. Unless something gets fucking deleted again.
But we are going to have another single out before the 20th of May, before that gig.
So you've got one more coming now next month, and then you're going to look for then July to get everything out. You got how many tracks going to be on the EP?
6.
6. That's more like an album, so.
That's what we mean. So we record it,
but they're not. They're kind of shorter tracks. They're about 2 of them are about 5 minutes. The rest are about 3 minutes. So it's kind of coming on less than half an hour. So it's.
That's an album.
We were toying with the end.
It's less than half an hour though, so I'm not calling it.
That's a fucking. Well, if it was Metallica, it's an EP. Metallica just do like 12 minutes song. That'll do.
12 minutes of pentatonic.
We won't dwell on Metallica, but that new album is alright, though, isn't it?
I like it. I don't see the whole fucking.
Haven't listened to it yet, but coming up from a guitar player from the singles I've heard, it's just Kirk Hammett chewed up and went, that'll do.
I already shared it and you seen it and me and you had engaged on the chat about it. I was like, a Metallica drop, right? So 12 songs and 2 out of the 12 songs are under 4 minutes, under 5 minutes. I was like, fucking hell, what more do people want?
I'm not giving Kirk grief there, by the way, too. If I could get away with just going pentatonic wankery and be like, that'll do. Happy days. If that's going to get bunches of views, away you go. He knows whatever he does, it's going to win regardless. So
I like that. I like the album. I know there's a lot of fucking groaning and moaning and all. Every single group, like the Irish metal groups and everything on Facebook, you just hear it's a fucking mixed bag. You know.
It always has been.
Lux Eternal, that was an absolute banger. That chorus is huge. That's a massive chorus. It's great.
Yeah, I seen a great joke about it. I kind of put it into the Burn of Metal post myself. It wasn't as brutal as the post though. Saying a lot of people wish it was still 1988, but back in 1988, you still had your hairline and you still had your waistline and all the rest, and they're gone now too. Like,
Them are the days. Well, sure, 1988, then all of a sudden, Metallica would have just fucking Jason Newsted's bass off everything, and you're like, oh, you did that.
But anyways, we'll move on from Metallica now. But it's good to see that the band is coming together, because when I initially booked you, I'll be honest, I was kind of like, I'll take the booking, but I'll see what happens, because you've had so many issues before, like, with people leaving and all the rest,
It's always the drama, but like that's what I mean. So like the whole time that me and Dylan had sat and focused on it, and I'd said, look, Phil is a good close mate of mine. He's put his faith on me in the past, and anytime we'd played, we repaid him in terms of putting on the best live show that we could do. And everything that we wrote, everything that we've done leading up to this, like it was like our biggest thing this year is like Download could turn and say, here boys, you can play this. I go, that's grand. But the biggest thing that we were concentrating on was your gig. And it was just more of a, me personally speaking as your friend, it was more kind of saying, do you know what? Phil over the years has supported me in Proxist. He supported me in anything that I've ever put out. And I was like, I owe this man because of all the hard work you've put in, not just in terms of bigging me up and my ability and everything else, but for what you've done across the board, man. Like your entire work ethic and everything. And I mean, I said to you, I know you don't mind any of us mention this. I mean, about we had the recent scare there, and my first concern was I was more worried about you as a friend. But I knew come hell or high water, should you have to be wheeled in there on a fucking truck, you were being there, like, do you know what I mean? So there was no.
I wasn't missing that one, but
not a fucking danger.
But I pulled myself out of the Siege of Limerick weekend just as a precaution, because
which I knew you were raging at, because you're a stalwart there. Anytime you fucking show up to the Siege of Limerick, it's you always have a good time. I always like look at your posts and your reviews on bands. So whenever I knew you pulled out of the Siege of Limerick, I was like, fuck me, Phil must be bad. And that's why I messaged you and I said, look, think about your health first about this gig before this gig.
You did message me, and I didn't get back to you until I got the all clear, like none of the tests on me to make sure I didn't have a heart attack, like,
Which I was panicking about.
They
can't figure out what it was. There wasn't a panic attack.
Like everyone was like, we don't give a fuck about the gig. Just
that's what I mean. Because I'd say to the rest of the lads, and I go, here, look, boys, I saw Phil's in a fucking bad way. We don't know. I don't know what's going on. He hasn't got back to me, and I go, and then I was worrying because he didn't get back to me. I was all, for fuck's sake. I was all, am I going to have to fucking ring fucking Phil's family? And be all, what's going on? I was all, what's going on with my man here? And but like, thankfully, you came out and you were like, look here, and you'd said, you'd explained it as best you could, and they still don't know what the fuck happened. But I knew for a fact, I was like, this gig is going to go ahead regardless, because as I said, should you have to be wheeled in with a fucking drop, as all you were going to be there. You know what I mean?
Well, say that there's a chance you could be on stage at a fucking crutch.
On another note, how's your knee actually?
Well,
that's what we just joked about there.
I do have surgery coming up, but they don't know when they're going to get me in for surgery. But regardless, man, you see me live on stage. I don't give two fucks if I'm standing there with two crutches, one crutch and a wheelchair. I will fucking backflip off my wheel fucking chair or backflip off my fucking crutches. Should I have to put on the best show possible? Because
should I have to wheel you about my thighs while I'm playing Russell?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? It's the show. People are coming to see bands. People are coming to see people, be passionate about the music that they're writing, be passionate. Like, you could have the best technical band just stand there, but if they have no personality or no fucking, you're just standing there going,
like, worst case scenario, we can put sparklers on a wheelchair.
I'll fucking put sparklers. Do you want to know what? I'm going to go full Ace Frehley and put sparklers on me fucking. Double check with fubbers actually if I'm allowed pyrotechnics on, because I will actually fucking sellotape a whole pile of sparklers to the end of my crutches.
You'd probably get away with that. Would you? I don't know. I'd have to check. Well, if you bring them anyway, we'll see how they get on in the night. Because
see, if you tell me no, I'm still going to fucking do it. Like. So
maybe don't do that.
Maybe no, don't do that. No, they will get the security. I've seen them do it before.
You can tell who's the voice of reason in the band. Darren says something like, maybe don't do that.
Last song. This starts going like, your man's fucking crutches are on fire.
That's the first song. Darren lights us sparklers, and we're done.
But no, man, like the knee, it's fucked, like, but we have surgery planned, and hopefully the recovery will be sweet. But it's not going to affect my live show. It's not going to affect anything that I've done, a million times over. It's for me, it's about validating the people's faith and going, I'm going to pay to come on and see this band that I haven't seen before, and hopefully they walk away saying, Jesus, your man on the crutches doesn't give two fucks.
He's actually lining with the knee. That's like a Britain's Got Talent thing. We need a side story. He never actually hurt himself. He's faking the whole.
It's a sob story. Just coming on and be, oh well, it was always my dream to do this. My knee like.
Well, you won't be on first anyway. I can tell you that much for now anyway.
Oh, happy days. Well, there's another thing.
I'm not dragging you all the way from Derry to Dublin and putting you on first. No, fuck that. I'll say to a few of the local bands, Dublin bands that are on it, lads, you mind going on first because you play here numerous times and you play here regular.
Makes it our first gig as a band.
But it makes no difference as well to us because at the end of the day, we're going to see every band. We're down for the full night. We're down for the full fucking shebang. We
want to go on early to get the gig over with and be like.
That was the plan, but but we want to sit and we want to watch every band. We want to support every band. We want to headbang to every band, and we just want to, as I said, support the scene that you have championed. Adrian has championed. So many fucking people.
As soon as I'm on stage, I'll be the first person to cut.
But so many people behind the scenes don't get the plaudits. Like we as bands go up and we're like, all right, thank you very much, blah blah blah, and that's whereas we have people like you and Adrian and so many promoters across that are so passionate about Irish metal.
It wouldn't be happening without you.
It wouldn't be happening without you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so many bands have come through, and so many people have got exposure because of it. So, like as I said, it's always. People always go, oh, thanks for putting on a good show to the bands. But we're like, no bother. But we wouldn't be here without using having us down to put on the fucking show. But you run the fucking show. Do you know what I mean?
I said earlier, thank you for the support, but you give us our first gig too, man. So, cheers for that, bye, Tim. We have no fucking gigs. We just know to write roughs and screaming. Feels like you for all this shit, that's so.
Absolutely.
But I'd say with gigging for a year, the band won't be a regular thing. It'll be spread out, I'd say, going forward, yeah.
Well, I mean, in terms of
we're trying to keep it regular anyway. Once this EP's out, we're looking at gig as
it's we're going to try and gig as regular as possible, but we're not trying to just be like, we're playing Derry 5 nights a week.
Yeah, I don't want to be just like a Derry, weekly band. I'm on back Southern Road playing Rosie Jews again this week. I know, fucking shit.
No, that's
the last place I want to gig is Derry.
No, as much as we love Derry and it's our hometown, but
there's no medals in here though.
You get fucking sickened. Do you know what I mean? If you're seeing the same bands every 2-3 weeks, but we want shout out to Johnny McKee as well in Belfast because he has new band as well.
PXBX.
PXBX. Them boys are fucking. They sound amazing as well, and they're kind of post punk, fucking hardcore, you name it. And we had said about getting gigs with them, and we're looking to go Derry, Belfast, the Donegal lads as well, Letterkenny. But we are looking the full length and breadth of the country. Dublin, Limerick. I never played Limerick.
I didn't leave in the fucking country, but
Siege of Limerick. I've always wanted to play Siege of Limerick, and if we were ever invited to that, I'd be I would put on a diving suit and just fucking throw myself in clean head first. Do you know what I mean?
I think we'd share a diving suit if we couldn't get two.
We'll just share one. We'll just go on like a fucking mango.
You nearly played with a Proxist.
We nearly did, and
I know we did because I was in touch with them. I was back when I was helping you out, and I got a good response, so.
Well, sure.
But it's not Proxis now. I'm whooping you in the shit in your old age and
put on a good word for us there back then. I'll fire you a fiver. Yeah. But that's what I mean. Siege of Limerick. I've always wanted to play and just across the country, man. Like it's, I want to go play gigs in Cork. I want to fucking just let loose. Do you know what I mean? And then we'll take it across the England, Wales, Scotland, whoever will have us and listen to us. Do you know what I mean? But it's
wherever they want us, we'll go.
Aye, wherever they want us. Do you know what I mean? As I said, we're here. We're writing music that we enjoy. We want to bring that excitement and joy that we have.
The weird one, I was looking at our, you know, the Spotify like artist thing. We can look at it.
No,
I was looking at our Spotify like most listened countries and what Russia is our most popular country.
Russia are mad hoers,
which might not be great at the minute, but like.
But Russians love their fucking metal.
They
like,
do.
I think Russian lads just sit at 4 a.m. with a bottle of vodka, just being all. That's as good, yes. They just like, what a fucking tune.
They're made a circle pot. I want to see 30 men like Slavic squat. Like that's.
No, it'll be like that 4-on-4 MMA. Do you ever watch that Russian 4-on-4 MMA thing where they just beat the shit out of each other? I'll send you a link to that. But man, it's.
The only Russian thing I've watched, and that was the Russian slap contests.
Yeah.
Oh, is that not part of the UFC?
No.
Yeah, your man Dana White is a new slap thing. There's gonna be massive legal issues with that because that's
when that was coming out though, the Russian thing was not part of the UFC though.
There's gonna be some encephalitis fucking like claims in future.
There will be massive.
What I love about those videos, it was like when you see the really skinny guy come up across the bike guy, you're going, oh, he's getting knocked out. And you just see the skinny guy like have like the biggest
level boys just to the palm of his hand. You're like, Jesus, like Russian boys are built different. Like,
anyways, we'll play a bit of your newest track, Hyper Fixated. Here we go. And that is that now. And as you said earlier, that's your You're calling it that they're calling them demos for now, just before you go in and
They
build a
are,
proper
absolutely.
studio.
They're definitely not fully produced. We're definitely having a studio for the full EP. That's we just kind of wanted to get music out there, and that was the thing. That song was written about panic attack. Is what that song is about.
All right.
But if you get while you're having a panic attack, I think you can talk better with the lyrics than I can. I just kind of wrote the rest.
Oh, I was. So the whole thing.
Great type in there, by the
Well,
way.
thank you. We were sitting chatting about it, and it was the first time me and Dylan sit down and we work out, because Dylan does the backing vocals and stuff like that there, and which he doesn't get a lot of credit for, and he's always the first person to be a critical hear about himself, but he's fucking, you know what I mean? As I said, it was so easy writing music with Steve in Proxys, but it's mad because I've met somebody else, and I've been blessed to be fucking writing music with great musicians throughout my whole music career. And this man here is just fucking.
You're blowing smoke out my hole there, but I can only write to what I know that you can sing, so I'm writing to your style.
But you write to my style, but then whenever we sit down and we work it out, and so we were sitting and we were chatting about lyrics and stuff, and we were on about our shared kind of mental health stuff over, and we've always every fella has always men's mental health isn't spoken about enough, as we all know. And we sat and we were chatting about it, and
we're quite open about that.
We're which is good.
Every time you leave my house, you give me a night, God bless.
I don't say God bless, fuck that shit.
We're both atheists, but we don't like God bless.
But a hug and stuff like that there. But even I always say, and anybody listening to this as well, look, if there's any fucking body that ever has a crisis about mental health,
there's not a member in this band you can't message.
You can message any of us, and they all of yours. It doesn't matter if you're a stranger. It doesn't matter if whatever. I'm a massive advocate. Well, we're massive advocates for it. And we were just chatting about it, and we were on about the fucking how fast the music went, and we were on about fucking. It would give you a panic attack, wouldn't it?
The music was very eclectic, and you're like, "I give you a panic attack."
That's all. I'll give you a panic attack. And then we were. He turned and goes, "Ah, Jesus, we would know all about that." And then we sort of thought, and he goes, "That's fucking right about how hectic it is, and that's so hyperfixated." And it was Dylan came out with the title of hyperfixated, but when we were writing stuff, it was the first track is "Can You Feel It?" Or the first lyric is "Can You Feel It?" And just anybody that's had a panic attack, you feel that shit coming on, and you're like, no.
Even the chorus, I think, is a great way to panic attack. The chorus kind of comes a few parts, just "You'll be okay," followed by "I'm not okay."
But you'll be okay, and just breathe, and then you think it's gone, and then you're not okay. Can't breathe. And it's just it comes to you in waves, and that was essentially where that track came from, and it was
all our music is all related for most.
You've known me a long time. Anytime I write music, whether it was Hybris or Proxys or whatever, and as I already promised, I'm not steering on the politics or anything, but Blind Eye Genocide, I wrote about the whole Palestine-Israel issue.
And we're going to stop that just there and move
on. No, I'm not saying.
We're going to stop that just there and move on.
And
actually stop that just there. Well, you have anything else?
It's the human condition. I write about the human condition and human mindsets, and about feeling connected, disconnected, about what's going on, and this, that, and the other. And it was just kind of coming back to the core writing of, what makes us, and a lot of shared people have, anxiety. A lot more people these days.
Oh, it's crazy compared to what it used to be.
That's insane, man. But I don't know whether that was because it was undocumented or because people didn't speak up enough. So we kind of fed into that, and we spoke about.
I do think you implied genocide as much as I joked there, saying we're going to stop there. It was not about just Palestine and.
Oh no, it was just about
war in general.
Mankind it
was so unnecessary.
Self-destructive.
It's humans created the atomic bomb, but you'll never get a mouse that will create a mousetrap. It's so fucking ridiculous.
As Einstein said, But it was, that's what I mean.
I'm
Like,
surprised you got that actually.
you're surprised I got that. I mean, the fella went to university and studied law.
But you're still a dum-dum. That's why I love you. So.
No, I'm an asshole. I'm not a dum-dum. But it's just kind of everything that speaks to me. Like whenever I hear a song or like a riff like Dylan writes, and then I have I go down the feeling of what I'm feeling at that time, and it was that time that we'd sat. It was the first time we actually sat. You hadn't sent me anything, but it was the first time we were sitting and we're like, let's write
we
this.
We wrote that together, yeah.
And
that song actually came together when the full band came together. Shaggy was like, the drummer again. He was like, can we just jam for 2? And he played a drum beat and I played a riff. And I just kind of locked that riff in my head. I was like, that was a whole intro of the whole dun 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 dun. I was like, right, keep that stored in the noggin. Went on with practice, and then I think the next day I just sent these like a full song. I was like, do something with that. Big old.
And me and him sat down and we wrote it that day.
We did.
And it was, as I said, like my writing process is so different, but that's what makes everything work because I write to what he sends me. And vice versa, like I don't play guitar or whatever, and I think I finished grade 4 on piano, so I know my music theory and stuff, but it's.
My writing process is weird. I kind of come home in a bad mood and lift the guitar and just start like chugging. And then go, before I write anything, I go lay down a drum beat and write to the drum beat. I'm a weirdo that writes drums first.
That's mad. I know whenever you told me you write the drums first, I was like, what the hell, man?
I write the drums first, then the guitar.
But it's like, but it works. Do you know what I mean? And that's where we came up by hyperfixated. We were like, so many people suffer with panic attacks and they don't know
how. It wasn't that. It was kind of, we dropped Aaron left, and it was kind of like, right, we need to do something with one guitar player. I was like, I don't want this to be a step back. I want it to be a step forward, move forward. So the day Aaron left, within that hour, I was like, start writing something. Because if you let it sit, you're going to be going, we need to find a new guitar player. Fuck. And I just went, no, fuck, right, as if you have one guitar player. And that song came out within like an hour, 2 hours. That was it. Yeah.
And that's where we were, like, and that's where we are looking forward. You know what I mean? It's always going to be about the human condition because I think there's so much untapped, kind of unspoken as well, stuff about what people don't speak about.
A lot of the band's lyrics are mental health.
Mental health and like the likes of, I know we're sitting here having a beer and all, but like alcoholism and the way we are as Irish people itself, people expect us and the stereotype.
It's like the suicide rate.
And suicide, like especially in Derry, man, I think Derry has the highest suicide rate, not only in Ireland, but
78%
in
males,
the UK.
78% males, and then the rest females. So like 78%.
That's mental. Like it's crazy. Do you know what I mean?
And if you don't think that Ireland has a drinking problem, walk past a bottle bank and after a weekend, and the fucking things are bursting at the seams. Like,
sure, it's the blue bands they see up here whenever they empty the blue bands, all you hear is a rattle of bottles and cans and everything.
What was it, 10 years back there, he made the Peace Bridge. They may as well have put a fucking diving board on it and charged £3 a go.
It's fucking mad.
It's bad.
Like if you don't laugh about it, you'll cry. Like, but like I've lost so many friends. You've lost friends to suicide.
In the space of 1 year, I lost 9 mates.
He lost 9 mates in the space of a year to suicide.
9.
9.
Yeah, it was everyone.
Fuck.
It's madness, man. And
Jesus Christ.
That's insane. Like, so we kind of took it upon ourselves and we were kind of like.
In the last 5 years, I've been in more funerals than I've been birthdays. It's bad.
You know what I mean? Like, Derry is renowned. As much as I love this fucking city with all my heart, as you know, I'm a proud Derry man. I go to Gaelic matches, hurling matches, the football matches. But like, the one thing that always sort of hung over me was. Men's mental health in Derry is insanely bad, but not just that. It's across the board. It's not just men, but like
But we can't blame anybody except like men are afraid to speak up. You're not weak if you speak up. It takes a lot more effort to speak up than it does to just stay silent.
Absolutely, and that's why I say to anybody listening to this, just fucking drop a message and just message.
That's if anybody thinks anything from this podcast, forget our fucking music. Just fucking speak up if you're not feeling great.
Fuck the music. As much as we love our music and write music and performing music, but at the end of the day, like we would rather save a fucking life than write a tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I can't think of a better way to end this little chat we had than that point. Mental health and speak up and
Oh, we love
Play
you,
your
man.
music and whatever, love your music, but at the end of the day, don't fucking sit there on your own. You know, you're not alone. Even though you
100%.
think you are.
At the end of the day, we all love metal. Everybody fucking come together. Next time you're at a gig, give the fellow beside you a fucking hug. Might save his fucking life. Just give it a go.
Absolutely, man.
Or you might get a Glasgow kiss either. Yeah, it depends on who you do to.
I know it's no one of two ways, but you know,
Well,
maybe
sure.
there's a fucking.
That's a 50-50, like you
might save a life or get a headbutt. That's
It's like ringing that number in the toilet, you know.
well, sure.
to be fair, that's how I met Darren. So
But I also big shout out to you as well, Phil and Adrian and every other promoter across the country that's always fucking, you know, having our backs as bands and promoting our music and just pushing the envelope. And like I know, like as I say, we're really looking forward to this gig and your farewell gig, but at the same time it's kind of bittersweet. Me personally, because you're my mate, and it's like seeing you fucking step off the scene. It's like, Jesus, man, like who the fuck is going to have the balls to step up and fill your shoes as well? Do you know what I mean?
It's weird for me because when it's the first person to stood up for us and give us a chance, I'm going, and it's also the last time we'll give us a chance. So I'm like, oh Christ.
It's fucking bittersweet, man. But you know, I love you, Dylan loves you, the whole band loves you, man. Fucking the entire mail.
I think I sent you a wee message last night saying just cheers and everything too. So
yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Anyways, lads, we will leave it at that. So, Asylum Road, keep an eye on that name, and you've got things happening. You've got a gig coming later this year. We can't talk about just now, but it's going to be a big one.
Well,
a really big one, and we'll leave it at now because Darren will fucking spurt it out or someone.
Check out Morning of the Heretic as well.
Oh yeah, Morning of the Heretic as well, of course. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.